Ladies and gentlemen, currently it's 14th of September and also the fourth round of the ongoing FIDE Olympiad 2024, which is happening in Budapest. And so far, Team India, they are just, yeah, they are just unstoppable. They are, they have they're playing in the Olympiad just for that gold medal. And this is why they are just giving us some crazy games for us for content creators like us, so that we make videos on them, and not only to make videos on them, to support them, which we were like which we were all obviously, and which we are always Team India, whether in men section or whether in the women section. Both sections are just crushing. They are unstoppable. They are playing their best chess, and yeah. So I won't be taking much of your time for the intro, but I will just jump right into the games. You just see them, and yeah, just enjoy. So, Harika Dronavali is playing against Deimante. What's her name? Deimante Daluet Cornet. So, French team. I mean, not only, I mean, I just knew by the names. I never knew like that. Okay, so yeah. Anyway, so Harika here is playing with the white pieces, and she starts off with e4. Opponents plays e5, knight f3, knight c6, and bishop c4. It's Italian. Knight to f6, and now t3. Bishop c5. So you can now maybe try to play c3, d4. You can even short castle. So many things you can do. You can even play. You can play knight b2, knight bd2 for knight b3 ideas. But here Harika short castled, and now d6, opening up the light squared bishop for bishop g4 ideas. You can even play h, like at some point h3, or like to stop all that. So anyway, c3, also c3, trying to go for d4, a5, rook e1, now short castle. h3 played now to stop, as I said, the bishop g4 ideas, or maybe even knight g4 ideas to target this f2 pawn. Now bishop to e6. Now here you can even you I don't think you should trade, because trading is, this bishop is a good bishop. Although what you can do is you can even play bishop b3. Bishop b3, if you take, I will take back with the a pawn, and now my rook is having some file open. You can play bishop b5, try to target this knight, because this knight, like let's say, I mean, bishop d7 can be played after bishop b5, but still it's, then you can maybe play bishop c4. Okay, I mean, there are some ideas. So bishop b5, bishop to a7, and now knight to d2, uh, trying to control the c4 square, and maybe you can also go for knight b3 ideas, although a4 is still not a threat actually, because now the rook is blocked. So you can simply play that. Knight to e7, and now d4. Harika strikes in the center, and also you are now going to play knight d5 at some point. So knight g6, and now bishop to d3, c6, and trying to stop any d5 ideas. Now knight to f1. This is a good move, sneaky move. You are going for knight g3 ideas. Knight h5, and now g3 is a committed move, and now I believe the idea for g3 is to stop any knight f4 plans. So but also it's like a risky move. You're slightly opening up your king side a little bit. Queen d7, trying to pressure this pawn, although this pawn could have been taken. I'm not sure. No, I don't think so, it could have been taken, but yeah, I mean, still. Queen d7, and now h4, trying to defend the pawn, and now bishop to g4. Now idea is to pin this, but you also have knight h2. So I mean, some like that, or maybe even knight e3, which Arika played. Knight e3, but knight e3, what I was thinking, like, why to I mean, knight e3, you are just blocking your own bishop, right? I mean, at least knight h2, and you have an open bishop pile. You can place this bishop on g5 in the future, or maybe even on e3. So yeah, but okay, rook e1, rook e8, sorry, and bishop to e2. Now knight f6. I guess he wants to defend the bishop, but okay, you can just simply take the bishop, and I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, you can take the bishop, right? Okay, you. So Harika indeed took the bishop, and now h5. So she's like, now I'm going to the attack, and knight has to go to e7, or and after knight e7, you can maybe try to play bishop to c4, or maybe even queen to c2. A lot of ideas. You can even play h6 at some point, not now because the knight is covering. Although knight is not fully covering, you can simply take the knight, and after pawn takes, and you are just your king side is pretty weak. Knight goes back, and now knight to h4. Knight to h4, controlling the square, and now also the bishop. Also the g4 knight is hanging, so better be careful. f5. So completely, like, this diagonal is now completely weakening up the light squares for black. And now bishop takes knight is an understandable move. You don't want the knight there, but now after f takes, the rook file is open. So but bishop e3, and now takes. Everything is simplified now. The queen is doing very well. Rook can come to d1, so that you can pressurize this d6 pawn. This d6 pawn can be a target because it's a weak pawn. It only has one defender. Also the defender which is not even well defended by the rook, so you can maybe try to go for e5 ideas at some point. So yeah, there are a lot of things you can do. Queen e6, and now rook d1, as I said, the pressuring the pawn. Rook d8, and now c4. I guess instead of c4, I guess e5 could have been more better, because after e4, let's say you take, you can even sack the queen for two rooks and check. And yeah, I mean, this is could have been much of a good move, but yeah, okay. So now queen e5, and now you take, and now knight to g2. Knight to g2 idea is to go knight e3, so that you can target this pawn. This pawn is a completely weak pawn. This you can win this anytime. So rook d4, you take, and now c5. So stopping any b6 ideas, but still her opponent played b6, and now rook c1. Rook c1, or I mean, you can just take, or I don't know, maybe I'm not sure. You can even also the knight has a good square. You can play knight f4, so that you have knight e6 ideas for knight, and maybe yeah, knight c7 is also after that. But yeah, this could have been much of a good move. But yeah, okay. Rook c1 is also a good move. Rook b8, and now knight to f4. Finally, coming to knight d6 at some point, or maybe even knight to d3. Knight to d3 looks even good because now you got two squares under control. You only have here you have only one square, but after you go knight d3, you have these two squares. So yeah, takes, and on knight to c3 indeed played. Rook b5, and takes, and yeah, this is completely winning for white because white got two connected passes and against the one passer, and yeah, this is completely winning. And you need the technique, which Ariga obviously as an experienced player has a very good one. So after king f6, king e2, you are now this pawn is also falling. So king e5, king d3, and yeah, after that, when the dust settled, knight c4, check, and let's say king goes back, and now a4. Now you can't stop this pawn anytime soon. And yeah, after this, there's some moves. Knight c. Now Harika, this here she's played very smartly. After knight c5 check, king to f5, and now this pawn is a passer. This pawn is a passer, and this knight cannot stop either of them. That's the point. You can stop either. I guess you can stop this pawn. I'm not sure. I don't think this pawn can also be stopped because of this covering the pawn. But yeah, this pawn is also passing. So yeah. And after a6, Harika's opponent Demante resigned the game, and with that, Harika scored 1 point for Team India. And what a game! This was a good, classy end game play by Harika. To be honest, yeah, very good game. So, anyways, let's jump to Tanya Sachdev's game. Tanya Sachdev's game was an insane game as well. She was playing with the black pieces, and her opponent Natacha Benmezba is playing with the white pieces. So she starts off with e4, and Tanya is playing the Sicilian. e6, knight c3, a6, stopping any bishop b5 or maybe knight d5 ideas. d4 takes, queen c7, and now knight f6. and now a3, and I guess her idea is also to stop any bishop b4 ideas, but now you can simply play knight c6. You can even like start to play on the along with the king side as well. You can, yeah, push the pawns, but Tanya here decided to go for the queen side attack, so she played d5, queen d2, and now bishop to b7, trying to fianchetto and put some pressure on this pawn as well. But I mean, f3 could be a move, but yeah, still f3, b4 takes, and after rook a4, bishop e7, now bishop to d3 was played. So far so good for both sides, because these three pieces are, I mean, this piece is at least a little active. You always have bishop f4 ideas, although bishop f4 is not a good move because you have always e5. So yeah, you can now play knight c6 and try to go for September. So castles, and not d5. Tanya is like, I don't want to develop this knight. I can take my time to develop. I want to go for the center attack. So she went d5, takes, and yeah. Now bishop b7 again. Look at the bishop. The bishop is sniping. Queen is sniping. This bishop can come at some point to let's say the bishop can even come to d6, so that it has the double sniper attack. You can even play rook d8, trying to go for the file. Knight c6 can be played as well. So yeah, queen a queen a5, and now queen trade. So white here offered a queen trade, and I mean, black is like, okay, I will survive the end game. So knight d7, and now knight to c4. So far this pawn can be a target. This pawn has only one defender, although you can play knight e5, trying to put some pressure on this pawn. So rook goes back, and now knight e5 indeed has been played, trying to put some pressure. b3, and now a5. Good move by Tanya. She's playing very good in this endgame so far. White has doubled the stack on this file, but still it's not easy for white to, king f2, bishop to f6, trying to attack the rook. Rook goes to d1, and now rook d8, takes, and so far it's a draw position so far. And f4, rook b8. Both sides are just now shuffling the pieces. Takes, trading. Some trades are happening. Knight to b5, bishop to b4, and now bishop to d4. Well, you can start off with f6 e5. It's a mistake because now you can play f6 d5, and yeah, this can be a problem at some point. And f6 indeed played by Tanya. King king to e3, bishop c6, and now here is the blunder. Not a blunder, but it's a mistake, because now, I mean, not yet, I guess. Yeah, okay, actually it's a mistake because now you have e5, I guess, right? No, not now, because our bishop is hanging as well. So bishop goes to d7, and now the blunder has become. As I said, remember, like when I said that, oh, this is a blunder, but our bishop was also under attack, and after knight takes, we are ending in a fork. But now our bishop is 7. Now c4. Look at the time she took. She played instantly, opponent. And now the idea is you go e5. Idea is you take, you take. If you take, I got bishop c5 check. If you go rook d4, sorry, bishop d4, you go rook e8 check, right? Or what's the idea? Rook takes b3. Oh yeah, rook takes b3 is also one move. I'm so sorry I missed that. And after king e4, let's say you have rook b4 winning the, and I guess let's say after rook d2, you can just simply take the knight, and yeah, the knight has been, but yeah, it was played. And after king d2, now you won't take the knight yet, because remember your rook is under attack. What you will do, you play rook e8. Rook e8 was played, and after bishop c3, now you take the knight, and now this is completely winning for black with the piece up. And now, yeah, just attacking and trading off, simplifying position. Black managed to trade out the rooks, and now this is completely winning for black, because this pawn is gone. You can even sack the bishop for this pawn, and so that you have the king to the this two close to these two pass pawns. And yeah, Natasha resigned here, and what a end game played! What a tactical move that was, like very insanely played by Tanya. and and during the game analysis with chessbase india, she also mentioned that she was so happy that that her opponent fall for that nice little blunder. And yeah, what a game by that. And with that, Tanya scored another win for team india. And now this game was bananas. Like literally this was like yeah, just watch. I won't say much about this game because this game was insane. E4, c5, so this is a Sicilian, and knight of Sicilian, bishop e2, knight goes to b3, and so far, yeah, white is trying to go f4, trying to break down the center, queen to c7, and now f5. You have to go bishop d7, and bishop d7 actually is a mistake marked by computer, I guess, because of I'm not sure. Maybe you can go h3 g4, or maybe direct g4 as well is working, so that you have g5 ideas, and then you go f6. You can even play king d2 at some point so that you have queen coming, and yeah, some crazy attack. So but here white shot castle, black also castle, and now a4. Here I guess you can play knight d5, so that if you take takes queen take, I mean not queen, I mean queen takes. If you take with the queen, then you have queen takes pawn, but you have also queen takes b7. So it's a lot of things. So yeah, so knight d5 takes, and now completely winning Divya. And b5, so black is starting an attack, b3, and now bishop d3, trying to go for f6 or f6, queen h5 ideas at some point in the future, maybe f6, queen h5, bishop e8, queen h4, bishop to f7. Look at the pieces of white. Look at this. Everything is under control. You can play now king h1, so that you can play g4 g4 g5 ideas. So rook f3, which is also a great move. You are going for rook h3 ideas. You are threatening something. King goes to h7, rook h3, threatening mate in one. Now bishop g8, and now knight is coming on f3. Now everything is falling apart for black. What is black going to do? This is going to be very difficult for black to hold. And here knight takes b3 was played, and I guess the idea was like, if you take, it's still fine, I guess, right? What is the problem? You take, this bishop is not so, I mean, okay, I mean, I guess you can just take simply, but that takes, I guess what's a better move? Engine is saying it's queen h5, which I'm not sure why. I mean, why are you giving away the rook? Oh, no, wait. I guess the idea is to go queen g6 or something, some crazy lines like that. I don't know. I don't trust engine, but yeah. This is any human move will play queen c7, and now rook d1, defending the bishop, queen takes b3, and now queen to e1. I guess queen e1 shouldn't be the good move, because I mean, okay, queen e1, but like, why would you, like, since the queen is doing good on the, you know, like, you are defending your rook, but what if you go rook d2? Rook d2 sounds good. So yeah, but queen e1, and now knight on, wait, here she played knight h4. Knight h4 is a mistake. I guess the best was to go a5, because now you stop anything. I mean, taking also is fine, but okay. But knight h4, and I guess the idea was, I'm going knight g6 and winning the bishop. So king g8, very good move, very only move I believe to stop any rook knight g6 ideas. And now rook g3, trying to go for this. Queen takes a4, and now bishop e2, attacking the bishop. And I guess you can maybe go bishop f3 at some point, and bishop f7 was a blunder. And here I guess, yeah, bishop f3 should have been a good move, but yeah, but okay. Also here, by the way, a nice little trick, you can play bishop h6 as well, trying to go for this pawn, but yeah, okay, king side. But after that, yeah, and now finally she did bishop f8, and now queen ga3 is a blunder. Can you guess why? The bishop is hanging. There's nothing happening here. You can simply take the bishop. You're attacking the rook, and indeed was played. And now rook e1, queen goes to a2, takes, bishop takes, rook takes, goes back, and Black is simply winning here. What even is happening? Divya just completely losing here. She just completely messed up. Like, yeah, this is just completely messed up position for a while. I mean, okay, you won back the piece. You won back the piece. What about the pawns? Look at the black has one, two, three, four, five, six. How many white has? One, two, and three. Like, it's completely losing for black. Queen to b3. Now obviously, you want to trade the queen so that you have the endgame completely good for you. Knight f3, very good move. No trade. Rook takes, and now queen to h4, targeting this pawn. And here, king g7 is a mistake because I'm not sure, because I guess queen g, I don't know. Knight d2, and yeah, knight d2 is also great move. You're attacking the queen, and also the idea is to go rook e3 and rook g3 at some point. Queen c2 and a knight to e4, targeting the pawn. This pawn, these two pawns are falling apart. And now king f8, g3, which is a good move because obviously you are threatening mate in one. And now d5. Well, now what you should do is go queen h6. If this, then you have fork. So you have to go king e7, and then your queen takes f6. And yeah, this is completely winning after this. You are going to win the bishop, I believe. So yeah, but knight takes was played. I mean, this is also fine. Queen c5, king goes to g2, queen c2, king g1, and there's no check. There's no check. Okay, queen c5 is a check, but I mean, you can play king h1 literally. So yeah, king h1. Now queen f2, attacking the rook. Now you won't go rook c1 because check, king to g1, and now you have rook queen e3, and you win the rook. You won't go rook c1 directly for this thing. What you should do, you should play queen h6 check first, and then you can play rook c1 so that you have the diagonal under control. So knight d7 check. Okay, knight d7 check was played, and yeah, this. And now here, I guess here, queen h6, Divya missed, but I think what she was calculating was after knight takes h7, king g7, and some f6 ideas, I believe, or yeah, queen f6. And the point being is, now you can just take the piece, right? But here, this was a blunder, by the way, because I think what she was expecting, like after rook g7, you have queen to h5 check, king here, and I guess queen h4 check, and then the idea is you have rook c1, and this is what exactly happened. Some repetition, and now rook c1, because now you don't have a check. Boom, this is covered, and now you have mate in 7, literally you are getting mated. Rook to c7, one last try, so that after, so let's say if you take the rook, you have f1 mate. So what you have to do is play queen e8, king here, and then rook takes, which is what exactly happened. And after this, black just resigned, and because now it's also a mate in one, I guess when you go there, what's the mate? This is the mate, and this is the mate. Yeah, what a crazy game. From losing, completely losing, like Divya was completely losing at this point, like at this point completely losing. And then once this move was happened, yeah, everything was like, after that Divya just didn't give up, and yeah, she fought back. And yeah, crazy game. This was one of the craziest game, I guess, in the whole entire, anyways, with that, women's team scored 3, and I guess there was one draw, so between Vaishali, and so yeah, but Indian team are doing amazing in this entire Olympiad. and they beat France with 3.5, 0.5. Yeah, they were sorry. Vaishali scored a draw against Sophie Millet, which game I was literally had predicted that okay, if this game end in a draw, I will be very happy because both of them are like my favorite players to be honest, and I know both of them very personally. So yeah. But anyways, now let's get back to the men's section. Gukesh Domaraju, the World Championship challenger, is facing Alexandra Pretke, I believe, who's a very strong player. And here Gukesh is playing with the black pieces. Now e4 was played, and now c6 of Karo Khan. Gukesh, I think, rarely plays Karo Khan, I believe, but yeah, d4, d5, takes. Yeah, so far queen c7, you play knight f6, you go e5 at some point, you can even like yeah, there's so many ideas. Knight f6, knight f3, and now g6, preparing for bishop g7 and short castle. So and now here knight a3 and a6, any stopping any bishop b5 or maybe knight b5 actually, not stopping knight b5 for a tempo on the queen. So knight goes back, and now bishop to f5, trying to trade off the bishop. Bishop takes, pawn takes, and now Rukesh is like, I'm gonna bring my rook to g8. I'm gonna put some pressure if you short castle. So I dare you to short castle. And white is like, okay, dude, I will. And now e6, trying to go for bishop d6 ideas. Knight goes to e1, bishop to d6, knight to d3, and now knight to e4. This knight is doing pretty well here. Now you will go rook g8. You can even long castle and go for rook some double stack. So bishop to g6, sorry, bishop to h6, stopping any short castle. But who wanted to short castle? Like you have always had rook g8 in mind. So yeah, we don't want to short castle. Queen comes to c1, and I guess you want to go knight g5, something like that. But yeah, long castle, and now bishop to f4, f6. You don't want to trade. You don't want to trade. Give up this bishop. But still, I mean, now white, you are giving chance white to trade out the bishop. Otherwise, I'm going e5 right away. So yeah, takes, rook takes, queen f4. Here, interesting trade. Like you took with the rook, and now after 97, rook c1. Now white is like, okay, you shot long castle, and now I will bring my rook. I will go c4. I will just create some chances. Knight g6, queen to h2, rook to c6. Well timed move, because also by the queen trade is offered. Also there is no c4 chance. So takes, and now this is like an end game. You can say the verge of the end game. Knight rook pawn end game. Kukesh, although is playing on both sides, he's playing on the queen side as well as on the king side. So this is very impressive. Why a4, a5, a3. Sorry. Now knight e7, the idea is to go knight f5, g5. Now this is a well committed move by white, but still, I mean, you can just take with the f pawn, takes, and now knight e5, f3. This pawn is also a weakness because this has no defender. You can maybe play rook f8 at the future, and yeah, knight d2 check, and on knight to f5. Look at the knights. Look at these knights. These are just like they are just prepared to destroy the king's territory. Rook to b2, and on knight to b3. Black is controlling all the weak squares, so which is very impressive by black. Also there was a fork threatened, no, not a fork threatened because it was covered, but yeah. Rook c7, and I guess the idea is to go rook g7, or maybe you can go h5 and then rook h7, trying to go for the pass pawn. Knight g4, rook e7, rook h1, and now knight to h4 check, so blocking the rook from you know and after king g3, now you go h5, attacking the knight goes to e5, and now check, king goes back, and now rook to h7. These pawns are pass pawns. These are some crazy strong pass pawns. How will you play against them, bro? Like this, not I am asking, it's Kukesh asking to him. Rook g7. I believe he doesn't say bro to anyone, right? I'm not sure, but yeah. King e1, king a7, rook g2. Look at the way he's playing the game. Look at the way. Kukesh has his own technique. Knight goes to d6, knight goes to e5, some maneuvering, and yeah, Gukesh is like slowly but surely and with some unique techniques pushing these pawns ahead. Knight takes, and now knight f5. He's trying to simplify the position, and so far he's getting success. Knight to h5, king to h2, king to c7. Now rook to b1. The idea is to go b5, b4 or b5, b3 at some point. Knight to f6. I don't know why it's a mistake. It's a normal move, I believe. I'm not sure. I guess the idea is to go knight d7 so that after takes, I guess. I'm not sure. King to h3 and now knight e7. I guess now I believe what the idea is. Now the idea is to go knight d6 and knight f5, I guess. Rook goes to g1, knight to d6, and now b5. Rook goes back and now knight to c4. These two pawns are defended, but still it's not easy for black defend for so long. Now king goes to g2. Now remember, you this square is also can control by the rook, but yeah, not now. So it's back and rook f7, targeting this pawn. f4 takes, king comes here forward, takes, and here, my friend, knight takes h4 is a mistake. Can you guess why? Because you go e4, you take, I take with knight with the check, and you are going to lose a piece. But Mukesh missed it. He played rook g1. I guess the idea is to go this, but yeah, rook g4 check, and now he played f5, e5, but yeah, takes, and but still it's completely, it's knight. Yeah, Gukesh is just, it's finding so hard because both, look at both sides, both players are down on time. Both players like Alexander has 50 seconds, Mukesh with 45 seconds, and so far yeah, but still now 96. Now here Alexander missed a fork, I believe. Not a fork because you have rook b8 check, so check, and yeah, now Mukesh will chop off all these pawns. Takes, and after king c4, white simply resigned because how will you stop these pawns? These passes are super strong. You are going rook h1 next time, or rook a1, sorry, rook a1, maybe b4, b5, it's b4, b3 at some point. So yeah, what a crazy game by Gukesh. Although he missed already some chances before, but still he managed to bounce back and yeah, win the end game. So yeah, now next game is of Vidit Gujarati versus Velimir Ivik, and which starts off with d4, d5, and a queen's gambit, and c6. So this is now a Slav, and knight f3, knight f6, knight c3. This is so far like white is already going for this attack. So takes. So far so good. Now you will play rook e1. You can play rook d1. There are a lot of things you can play. Knight, not knight e4. Why would you give this knight? Because this knight is controlling this square. So yeah, castles, rook d1, and knight e5, targeting this bishop. But also the knight is placed very well on this e5 square. Bishop goes back, and now h4. With it is like, I'm going king h1, I'm going g4, g5. What are you going to do? King h, and now look at the attack. Knight goes to d5, bishop goes to d2. You remember what I have been saying in the previous videos of mine, that Indian team has this strategy, like they want to keep the bishop pairs always, because these are their strong point. Bishop pairs, keeping the bishop pairs. If you once you trade out the bishop pairs, maybe who knows, you might have some chance, but still. Queen to f3, rook to c8, and now takes, and now rook to c1. Rook goes to c7. The idea is to go queen c8 in the future. Takes, and now rook takes, and now rook c1. Having a rook open, rook 5. But so far white is completely having a great position. Bishop is very good. Knight is on the good square. Always having this g6 square under attack. You can never go f6 because of this. Also the rook now has the open file. The queen is also having some great squares at some point. Also this pawn is at an attack, by the way. Queen goes there, and now queen to f5. King g8, rook c3, and now the idea is you go rook g3. Queen goes to f6, takes, and now rook c7. Now here black decided to, you know what, I don't want your knight. I don't like your knight being on e5, and it's looking dangerous for me, so I will just up and with him, you know what, with pleasure, because now after bishop c3, and like look at your king side. Your king side is super weak. Your pawns, look at the pawns. Pawns are super weak. I got some amazing passers. I got some amazing counterplay against you. What you have? Rook goes f7, rook goes to e6, and now takes. Yeah, this is just completely over. Now you win the pawn. You are now in pawn up in the end game, and Now Vidit will, what he will do, he will just bring the king and try to grab this pawn as well. So yeah, both sides shuffle for a bit because they both were, I guess, down on little time, but still it's all well calculated by Vidit. And yeah, rook d1 is a mistake because now I guess you can I guess the I mean, you have to go f4, right? Your pawn is hanging. Also not even hanging, because you can't even take the pawn, because if I take, sorry, you can't take because of rook h7, rook h1 check, king g5, rook takes h5, rook takes h5, king takes, and I mean, yeah, and then you can take the pawn simply. So it's going to be a draw then, but no, f4, and now yeah, you can just simply go for the win. You're having these two passes. How will you do that? How will you win against me again? Let's see. Yeah, completely winning. Look at this. The way Gukesh has played the end game, similar way Vidit is also trying playing there. And yeah, after king f6, black resigned the game, because I mean, now you always have the bishop is hanging, and bishop goes back. Let's say you have g6, g7. So yeah, what a game by Vidit. Vidit is crushing in this tournament. He's having some amazing performance so far. And now this game, yeah, this game was crazy. Absolute insane. Arjun Arigas is unstoppable, guys. Alexander, he's playing as Alexander Indik. I guess I guess the J is silent. So yeah. Injik or Indik, I don't know. Knight f3, d5, and it's like an Indian game, right? Is it an Indian game? Yeah, King's Indian, sorry. Indian openings have been played by Indian team. Knight to b4, and already Arjun is like, I want to go for your c2 pawn, because so far in this tournament Arjun is playing only attacking chess. But yeah, yeah, e6, and now yeah, you are just simplifying the position, but still now it's not easy, because now look, Arjun is preparing for a6 b4 b5 ideas. Rook file is open. You have bishop d6. You have f5. Everything is coming. Knight to f6, bishop to g5, bishop to e7, takes. Yeah, and now knight f5 is a great move. Why? I mean, because you are attacking the queen. Yeah, but also, like, let's say queen b5 check. You always have c6, and yeah. And now the knight is placed on a well square, and this pawn is under attack. This pawn is a weak pawn. b3, but now knight to d6. Now Arjun was like, I wanted you to play this move. I forced you to play this move because now this pawn is hanging. Like, not hanging, I'm so sorry. It's not hanging, but it's a very weak pawn. How are you going to defend it? Castles, king to f8. Now it seems like you think, oh wow, it's a, wait, is it a mouse slip? Like, I mean, obviously they are playing on the OTB. How will he mouse slip, bro? It's just like you don't want to short castle, because the king rook is already controlling this whole file. So Arjun played a sneaky king f8 move, also removing from the pin. That's the main idea. Knight goes to e1, and the queen to a5, targeting this pawn. Rook c1 defending, but now knight f4 is jumping. Everything is coming now. Now a5, and yeah, Arjun is now going for c4, knight c4 at some point. You can play bishop to f6. A lot of things that is going to be playing. You can even play knight d4 at some point. So yeah, king goes to it, and bishop to f6, takes, and now rook a2, pinning the knight to the queen, and now rook e1 is a mistake. Why? I'm not sure why, because I'm not sure, to be honest. Like, you can play rook h to a8, you can just double up the stack, right? Which is what exactly Arjun played. Rook goes there, and yeah, now there is a triple stack, rook and queen. Takes, and now rook b2 is a mistake. Why? You go knight b5. The point is, these two pawns are, look at this pawn. This pawn is completely pinned. You're going for this pawn. If you take, I mean, obviously after this, if you take, I will take back with the queen, obviously. But now these two pawns, look at these. So knight to b5, insanely found by Arjun. Very good move. Rook to b3, defending it. But now, uh, but now, What you are going to do? Well, Arjun here, my man, sacrificed the knight. Now if you take, go bishop d4. If you take and boom, everything which I played exactly happened. Because now why you will play this move? You want to remove this defender, the defender of this square. The knight was defending this square, so you need some distraction. So, and yeah, rook a1, and here Alexander resigned. What a crazy game. This knight is pinned, by the way. So yeah, so what a game by Arjun. Arjun Agassi OP. Throughout the whole entire tournament, he's undefeated and he has won every single games. 4 out of 4, I believe. So yeah. But yeah, I'm looking forward for round 5. I'm just super excited, and with that, guys, this was the games I wanted to show you. Some insane. Team India is unstoppable, and with that, India defeated Serbia, right? What's the team name? I guess Serbia. Serbia with 3.5 score, I believe. Yeah, one game ended in a draw. It was the Prague Alexei Sarana game that ended in a draw. So I'm just covering all the games which has a specific result of win and lose. So yeah. But anyways, guys, um, that's all I have for you today. If you like my game analysis, do share it, subscribe to my channel, and more recaps are coming. So yeah. All right, get out of here.